Hello everyone. So today I'm gonna start a new playlist which is nothing but pre-algebra. So this pre-algebra is very much important if you want to advance your learning in machine learning or AI, deep learning, whatever. This pre-algebra, it's a basic step towards learning algebra, which is very much needed if you want to learn deep learning, machine learning, etc. So in this pre-algebra, now in this video, I'm going to start with the very much basics of this pre-algebra, nothing but we have counting numbers. When I say pre-algebra, it's nothing but I'm going to explain all the concepts of maths, particularly related to algebra, right from the scratch. In the sense, right from the basics, I'm going to teach you all these concepts. Okay. So, if you want me to draw this, I'm going to draw a straight axis like this. And here, I'll be having 0. And here, 1. And this is 2. And this is 3. And this is 4. And this is 5. And so on. Okay. And let's not focus on the left side of the 0. Okay. So let's not focus on this left part of the axis. Okay. I'll explain you later. But just focus on the right part of this, where I have mentioned all the numericals. That is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just focus there itself. Okay. So when I say numbers, the most basic numbers used in the algebra are nothing but the numbers that we use to count the objects. For example, we have an object 1, 2, 3, 4. We have so and so objects. Okay. If you want me to count these objects, how do you count? You would definitely start with 1 and goes on 2, 3, and 4. Why? Because this is the first object that you have seen, and this is the second, third, fourth. You won't consider this as the zeroth object. Okay, you won't start your count with the number 0. Okay, you will only count with the numbers starting from 1, 2, 3, and so on. So whenever you count any objects or anything starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, then you would definitely call them as counting numbers. If you are counting any objects with 1 and you are marching towards the right of it, then like 1, 2, 3, and so on, it can be called as counting numbers. Okay. Now imagine imagine we have some 20 lakh. 20 lakh numbers we have. Okay, we have a numbers of 20 lakh. If you want me to mention these 20 lakh numbers, how can I mention? Like, I mean to say, is it possible for me to mention all the 20 lakh numbers right over here? When you ask me this question, I would say, yes, it is possible, but it demands a hell lot of time. So I would say a good idea is to mention these numbers using this particular notation, that is 1, 2, 3, and so on, comma. Okay. So this is nothing but 1, 2, 3, and so on, 20 lakh. So I have directly written the 20 lakh number at the end of my series. I have started with 1, I have ended with 20th lakh. Why? Because physically, I mean to say, technically, it is very much difficult to write all the 20 lakh numbers at a time. So what I have done here, I have chosen this particular three dots here. Those three dots are nothing but, these three dots are nothing but, we call them as ellipses. Ellipses. Ellipsis. We can also pronounce it as and so on. If you want me to read this particular series, I would read it as 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma, and so on, 20 lakh. Or I can also read it as 1, 2, 3, ellipsis, 20 lakh. Either way is fine. Remember, these numbers have started with 1 and they have so and so numbers, like almost 20 lakh numbers. So we are calling them as counting numbers. Okay. These counting numbers can also be called as natural numbers. In your school, you have probably heard this term, that is natural numbers. This is the short form to represent the word number. So that's why I have used this. So I mean to say is natural numbers or counting numbers. Either way you can call them as counting numbers. Okay. So this is the concept. Now, if you look at this particular thing, okay. So when you look at this thing, that is this particular thing, that is 0. Here, 0 is nothing but an origin. We call this particular 0 number as origin. And if any number, or I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, if any number is paired with a particular point here, here, and here, if it is getting paired with any particular point here, then we call it as a coordinate. I mean to say is all these points here, we call them as coordinate. Coordinates. Okay. So these are all the coordinates of the points. So this 1 is nothing but a coordinate, 2 is nothing but a coordinate, 3, 4, 5, everything which is lying on this particular line or a particular fixed points are nothing but the coordinates of points. You can mention it as coordinates of points. Okay. So the major difference that I want to make it pretty much clear is if you are counting any objects starting with 1, 2, 3, and so on, then these are counting numbers or natural numbers. Either way, you can call it as. And if you are counting numbers starting with 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on, then these are nothing but the whole numbers. These are whole numbers. Okay. So I would like to give you some examples with which you can definitely identify whether is that a whole number or a counting number that you have to identify. Okay. First of all, I would like to show you some examples here. Uh, Imagine we have this example. In this question, we have some numbers here. This is the first question. And in this question, we have 0, 1 by 4, 3, 5.2, 15, 105. If I ask you, out of these numbers, can you classify which are whole numbers and which belong to the counting numbers category? If I ask you this question, how would you react? Just pause this video and try out yourself. And if you're not able to get it, then just resume it and look for the solution. So if I was in your position, I would definitely say any number is starting with 0, I would consider it as a whole number. Okay. So my whole number is nothing but 0 is my whole number, and 3 and 15 and 105. All these are whole numbers for me. Okay. Now, if you ask me what is mean by, what are the other numbers? For example, we have 3, 15, 105. These numbers, I can also call it as counting numbers or natural numbers. Counting numbers basically. Okay. So out of all these numbers, I have classified 0, 0, 3, 15, and 105. But what about these 1 by 4 and 5 by 2? We haven't classified these two numbers out of all these numbers. Okay. These two numbers, that is 1 by 4, comma 5.2, or these are not whole numbers. You would be wondering, if these are not whole numbers, you may think them as they belong to the category of counting numbers, but not. They are not whole numbers and they are not counting numbers as well. They belong to a separate category. We will get back to this particular concept in the later part of our videos. But for now, just focus only on classifying these two categories. Like if any number belongs to whole number category, you have to mention it over here. And if any number belongs to the counting numbers category, you have to mention it over here. That's it. Okay. So this is an example. Now I would like to give you like two more examples which you have to solve. I'm not going to provide you the solution, but it's only you that you have to solve. Okay. Examples. This you have to try it. Or we can call them as maybe uh, try out. Try out these problems. Okay, the first problem is nothing but we have a numbers called 0, 2 by 3, 2, 9, 11.8, 241, 376. And another question is 0, 5 by 3, 7, 8.8, 13, 201. You have to classify these numbers whether if they belong to whole number category or if they belong to natural number category. You just have to comment it down under this video. That's it. This is your homework. Consider it as. Okay. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. And in the next video, I'm going to cover a topic related to whole numbers, that is how to model a whole number. How to model a whole number. That's what I'm going to teach you in the next video. But for now, just comment these answers for these two questions under this video. Bye bye. Take care.